Old School Lane Casual Chats is brought to you by oldschoollane.blogspot.com and is associated with Manic Expression, the Comic Book Cast, the Reopen Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida Facebook page, and for entertainment's sake.
Sometimes it can be shitty when there's a game you really want. You wait a really long time, it takes bloody years to come. But what about those games that you just don't get to play? That were not released in the US, but places like the UK. It's games that games can't rank because they're not released. There is games that games can't rank, but they're generally not great. Would you like to be my friend? I don't have many friends. But what does this have to do with this song? It's games that yanks can't whack.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Casual Chats for 2016. I am Patricia and I'm here with a very special guest. You may know him from all the way back in the day when he used to post on websites such as ScrewAttack and Blister Thumbs, and now he is still doing his own videos online discussing about video games from his series Games Yanks Can't Wank, as well as Films Yanks Can't Wank, movie mistakes, and looking up really interesting facts about obscure video games. I'm here with Guru Larry Bundy Jr. Larry, welcome to Casual Chats.
Oh, hello there. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've known your work for a very long time, ever since you...
I'm sorry to hear that. I feel sorry for you.
No, seriously. I mean, you and Wes have been really, really awesome with posting up your original British reviews on all these really interesting video games that never made it to the US. I've known you guys all the way since you did your work on ScrewAttack Europe. When you when you did like the Retro Corner and your Games Yanks Can't Wank videos.
So, fantastic. That's quite a while then. That's about 2007, that would have been. So
yeah, pretty much. Because I found out about ScrewAttack in 2006 when I was looking up some stuff on Game Trailer. So I've known this site for a while now.
Oh, wow.
So let's start out asking some questions. So what would you say are your earliest experience of playing video games?
Well, the first memory I can possibly think of is I used to play a game called Combat on the Atari 2600 with my brother, because he bought an Atari like with his wages when he was really young and that, and we used to play games on that. I can always remember renting them as well. I never actually bought games because they were too expensive and we were too poor and that. So, but Combat on the Atari is definitely like the very first game I can physically remember in my head. The little tank game we have to shoot around a maze, if you can remember that.
Yeah, I think I recall on that, yes.
Oh, excellent.
So, yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen their videos, they've always been talking a lot about games that would not really come out on the NES, but most likely they would discuss about games for, like, for the computer, like Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum and stuff like that. So, was that, like, really...
Oh, ZX Spectrum.
I apologize.
Oh, blasphemy.
Yes,
it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yes, I know. Trust me, my British friends, you know, they crucify me every time I call the Mega Drive the Sega Genesis. I apologize. So, anyway, so were those like very common games that would be that people in Europe would be playing? Because you guys talk a lot about those in your early videos, and even still in your more recent videos.
Yes. They're sort of. I think people would like to learn something new, something different, because there's loads and loads of channels out there just talk anything about like the NES and stuff like that, and I think there's only so learning about something new and different for once. I think people quite like.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's also learning about somebody else's childhood as well, other than your own as well.
Yeah, definitely, and especially since before watching your videos over at ScrewAttack, I didn't really know too much about those kind of video games because. Not only were they not from my generation, but they weren't very common, with seeing those kind of games, especially the games that didn't come out in the US, but were only exclusive in Europe.
Mm.
So, what made you decide to do your video game reviews?
I don't know. I think when we started doing, we wanted to do something for ScrewAttack originally, and we're originally going to be doing stuff that happens over here, like launch events. And it was suggested doing sort of games that only ever come out over here or Europe and stuff like that. And so we started carrying on from there. So we didn't really know where to start. I mean, we started doing sort of like shovelware PS2 games to begin with. And we were thinking about doing like Japanese games as well. But I think even then, Japanese games are sort of covered somewhat by other people. So we stuck with European stuff and sort of stuff what we grew up with as children.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
So yeah, it's a lot. We got a lot of personal history with the games themselves, and that sort of bought them as kids and stuff. And it was always quite good because they're really, really cheap because they come out on like audio cassettes. You could buy them sort of with your allowance easily, to 1 or 2 games a week with your only allowance. So we had quite a collection of games back then instead of having to buy them on consoles and stuff. So by waiting for when consoles came out over here in the Master System, it was quite a shock of how expensive the cartridges actually were in comparison.
Now, why were they more expensive compared to like other countries?
Because I don't know, they just make up stuff as they go along. To be honest, I mean, we have like VAT, value-added tax, to put on stuff, which is like 17 to 20% already, and then they always say stuff like, "Oh, it's shipping. You know, it's really expensive to ship to the UK and import fees and stuff like that." But I just think they just. Since we have a different sort of wages over here, now we earn slightly more money, we should pay the equivalent and stuff like that, really. But NES games are like £70 over here. That's sort of the equivalent of $120 or something ridiculous. That was in 1980s money as well, so that's like $200 something dollars. Yeah. So yeah, they're ridiculous, the NES games. So that's why one of the main reasons why it didn't do very well, and it was considered more of a sort of a rich kid's toy over here, the NES, for quite a few years, and that's quite a stigmata Nintendo had for quite a few years.
Yeah, I can quite understand that. That's for sure. Now, for anybody who's been following Larry for a long time,
I feel sorry for you. My consideration, you poor people.
Yes, poor us. Anyway, now for your earlier videos, you were a huge fan of video games. Like in your channel on your playlist, you were actually in a few British game shows that were involved with video games. So, what's the story behind that?
I've just an attention whore, just wanting to be on television, really. To be honest.
Simple, perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the conversation. Yeah, no, I just wanted to go on television and stuff like that and be, I was quite good at playing games and stuff like that, so I wanted to go on and sort of win stuff. Really,
yeah.
I want a mountain bike. I mean, that's probably the most expensive thing I ever won on the show. On a copy of Mario Paint as well. I think that's 2 most expensive things. Oh, a sort of RC car, stuff like that. But I won a few things and stuff like that, and it did really, that's about it. I just sort of want to go on television because being on television was like a major thing back then because we didn't have the internet. So
yeah, definitely. And for kids in America back in the 90s, I mean, we had stuff like Nick Arcade, in which kids would be playing video games and they would get a whole bunch of prizes, and they've had like numerous experiences and their perspectives of how meeting up with the host and playing the games was like, because it looks different on TV compared to when you're doing it actually in live. So what was your experience behind it?
Just a lot of waiting, sitting around, and then 5 minutes of playing a game and just being nervous as all hell. I remember my hands getting all sweaty and stuff like that. Is that what you meant by a question? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Just like your experience, like how was the host and meeting up with the other contestants and stuff like that.
They're all really, really nice. I mean, I remember coming on that head-to-head show, and there's some guy had travelled all the way down from Scotland, and he essentially fell asleep on the set. He was so tired.
Wow.
So I felt really bad for him, and then he didn't win anything. And I might have beaten him, actually. I don't know if I can remember. Yeah, so people are coming all over the country and stuff like that. So it's quite fun. I mean, to meet other people who was into games, because it was... In those days, it was, gamers were sort of few and far between, so meeting somebody with the same interests as you and the same age was quite exciting, actually. So it was quite an interactive thing to say hello to other people and that.
Larry!
Larry, let's have a word with the man. There you come, lads. There you come. Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome. Okay, Larry. First of all, mate, I know that you've got a deep hatred for the great permed one. No, it's not Dave Perry. It is, in fact...
What, Edmonds?
Edmonds? You don't like him?
I can't stand him.
You don't like him? You don't
he's
like
a loser. I can't stand him.
Well, I'm sure that he's taken that notes on board. You want to be a videator as well, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah, if you were good enough to make it as a videator, what would you call yourself?
I'll be called Philip the Levitating Owl.
Really? What? See? We've got guys with lucky gloves and we've got nutters on the show. Best of luck to you, mate. Gloves and consoles, play some games.
Now, was that experience on TV and your love of video games was what eventually got you on TV doing like your own coverage of video game news alongside with Wesley Locke?
No, Wesley, I met while doing another channel, presenting a show called Game Guru on a channel called Game Network, which was basically a live phone-in show where people would ask for cheats. And what it was the manager actually fancied his girlfriend at the time, and he was trying, and she got the job originally. And when they're asking for new people to come on, I've become friends with Wes through playing him on sort of Halo 2 and that, because I actually helped his girlfriend out setting up his things and that, so we become friends from that. And so we met like that from playing online together through his girlfriend and stuff like that. So
now, Game Guru was called, right? Was that where the nickname came from?
Game Guru that's where I got the name Guru Larry, because he was called Guru Wes on there as well, but he didn't like the name. I sort of kept it because it annoyed him, really. I've been using the name for well over 10 years now. He doesn't like it whatsoever. He always calls me Larry and everything. If you ever listen to it as well, he'll refuse his point blank to call me Guru Larry.
Right. Yeah, pretty much in almost every single video that you guys have done, the Wes and Larry's Top 10, or if you were just, just doing, like, coverage of a particular video game, or you with your crossovers with Dr. Ashens and various amounts of other things.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have some sort of name and that. I think I'm a bit arrogant using my real name in general on the internet, really, because you're supposed to have some sort of wacky sort of internet name, haven't you?
Sure.
Like, cheese sandwich gamer and sort of toilet roll holder, let's player and stuff like that. Stupid names like that. But yeah, I'm just too lazy for that. I decided to use my real name. So Guru Larry is just an extension of that, really, to make myself even more egotistical on the internet. Because it's all about having an ego on the internet nowadays. So.
Yeah, it's understandable.
So nothing more arrogant than having that in your title of your name. So.
Yeah, something that you could put in like a giant billboard saying that, hey, this is my name.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's either that or Emperor Larry or King Larry, something like that.
Right.
just to wind it down, yeah. So yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah. So, how did you get in touch with ScrewAttack?
It was Wes who actually got into there, really. He was invited to the launch of the Wii in the UK, and he made a video, and ScrewAttack liked it so much, I asked if you want to make some more for them, and they suggested doing the games Yanks Can't Wank for them.
And yeah, and I remember your earlier episodes of Yanks Can't Wank. You were discussing about like Monty on the Run. There was hamsters with the hamsters with the rock band or something like that.
Oh, Rockstar Ate My Hamster.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Rockstars Ate My Hamsters. There was Jet Set Willie. Yeah, there was a lot of them that you guys discussed about, and yeah, those were like really interesting because, I'm sure like for the most part, for a lot of people who weren't European, they probably never even heard of any of those games, and that's what I always found so fascinating, was that you get to go beyond just the discussion of your typical, NES or SNES games that, ScrewAttack was pretty much covering with their own series with, when they were looking back on games. And you kind of did somewhat similar with your Retro Corner, which, you also... I did,
yeah.
Yeah, you also did a little bit of that as well. And and it was because of your Retro Corner that I was able to learn things about, Punch-Out 2, which was actually, originally supposed to be the sequel to Punch-Out.
Yes. That's why they put a 2 at the end.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I've always been like really, with your stuff has always been one of my favorites. With ScrewAttack when they first got started.
Oh, thank you.
So as time went on, you moved over to Blister Thumb. So what happened?
Basically, a load of people on that Guy of Glasses were ex-ScrewAttack members already. People like Handsome Tom, Benzai, Lee is still gaming and stuff like that. So they're the ones who recommended me to come over. And around that time, ScrewAttack decided to stop paying me for doing videos. So it made a perfect excuse.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
So.
And then they got all funny about me monetizing my YouTube channel, my ScrewAttack Europe channel as well.
Oh.
As well, that was like the nail in the coffin.
I see. Well, that's
so
too
yeah,
bad.
so it's always he's always end up with about money in the end.
Yeah,
so,
I completely understand.
I
mean, during the time in which the internet was still new with monitoring your work and eventually making money off of it, I guess as time goes on and when you start becoming hugely popular, then the fight of who really owns what property and how much you can make out of it starts becoming complicated over time.
Pretty much so, yeah. I mean, it's always down to money or something, or somebody screwing somebody else over and stuff like that. Again, with money, so yeah, it's always down to that sort of stuff. But I've never had that problem with that Guy of Glasses. They've always been hands off with me, really, left me alone and had to do my own devices.
Right. So, as time went on, you were, branching out with other things. You did, like, Films Yanks Can't Wank. You were doing your discussion videos about why certain things happened. And then eventually you and Wes were on TV doing your top 10s. And
yes.
Eventually, with the unfortunate thing about Blister Thumbs ending its run, and eventually, everybody had to do things on their own. I mean, was that kind of pressuring on you that, as time went on, that you were associated with both these huge websites, and then all of a sudden things just fell apart, and then everybody had to be spread thin and having to deal with these things by themselves? Were you, like, nervous or afraid, or were you, like, ready to take this on by yourself?
Oh, no. I mean, when Blistered Thumbs finished, they just put me back on that Guy of Glasses, so it was which I preferred anyway, because all the views were going on that Guy of Glasses anyway. That Blistered Thumbs, the website itself, was getting very little views in general. So I was relieved that it closed down to an extent. I mean, I feel sorry that some people did actually sort of got let go.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was such an old school on there, I just went back to the main website. So it was just, if anything, it was a bit of a relief for me. I was quite happy that I went back.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to, pick yourself up and, continue what you were always doing, because...
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of my associates, whenever there was, like, a huge issue like Blip shutting down, or, maybe a website that they were associated with a few years either shuts down or something doesn't work out, then they feel like they have nothing to contribute anymore, and eventually they just give up. And there are some people,
it's very disheartening. Yeah.
It is really disheartening, because there were a lot of people that I personally knew that they had a lot of talent and they could have gone really far, but they were just devastated because, they felt like that was the only thing that they thought that they can be able to keep themselves afloat with, doing videos online, their, part of their career.
Mm.
But I'm glad that, a lot of people, including yourself, were able to get back up and being able to do what you do and not worry about it.
Well, the thing is, never put all your eggs in one basket. I stopped. I put everything on Blip and YouTube at the same time. I've done that for years, so I knew that if anything ever happened to one website, I could always jump over to the other and that. So always try and spread out your work and put it in as many areas as possible. That's the main thing. And also try and promote yourself before anybody else as well. I mean, everybody's sort of, I'm part of this website and that now, and it works for a while, but you need to promote yourself more, because nobody's going to promote you more than yourself. So you've got to go at your own to an extent.
Right.
As well. I know it sounds. I know the way I say it sounds quite selfish and that, but it is. If you're trying to make a business about it, you've got to put yourself out there rather than sort of relying on other websites and stuff like that.
Sure. So, with you doing your online content for a long time, and there's all these new people coming on by like every pretty much every hour or every day or something like that, and either they're bringing something new to the table or they just come and go. Now, what kind of tips and tricks would you give to people who have been around for a very long time or are just starting out and they want to be able to branch themselves or keep themselves relevant after being around for a very long time to make sure that their content stays fresh and relevant?
I think the main reason is to try and find what's popular at the moment and try and capitalise on it, as well as sort of making sure that your work is consistent, which is something I severely need to learn myself because I'm terrible at consistency. So trying to do good content as well as something consistent. Another thing is, I know from a lot of people reading comments and that, you have to be engaging with your audience. Don't ignore the comments, always sort of listen to them as well, just reply to them and that and thank them and stuff like that because they really appreciate that. And also that sort of thing really spreads. If somebody tells you, you're nice to somebody, that will spread and they'll tell their friends and their friends will tell their friends, oh, that guy's really nice. So they'll come over to you and stuff like that. So always be engaging and polite to your fans as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a great way to expand your fan base, as well as being able to market yourself as somebody that you need to watch in order for you to get the information that you probably couldn't get anywhere else.
No.
And, I understand that you were saying to yourself earlier about that you feel terrible that you're not producing as much content as you want, but you stated this numerous times that a lot of the stuff that you do release when it comes to your content, it takes a lot of time and research because a lot of this stuff has been pretty much forgotten. I mean, not even the internet can be able to save you at some points with all the stuff that you were able to get. I mean, interviews is what helps out with your Thundercats video that you did a while back. The same thing happened to me when I wanted to find out more information about this obscure Thanksgiving special, and there wasn't a lot of newspaper reports on it, and it was just pretty much almost forgotten for a long time until somebody uploaded on YouTube. And I got hold of one of the people who helped with the animation and got some behind-the-scenes stories. So, I mean, I understand that, some of your stuff is not as consistent as maybe somebody who posts, like, every month or every week. But I think that the way that you put in for your fans, I think it's always been well worth it because you're always delivering things that are brand new that not a lot of people are able to deliver. Yeah,
I mean, I try and go out of my way to make sure that nobody else has covered what I'm doing as well. I mean, I'm trying to be as original as possible as well. So,
and I think that's what makes it. And I think that's what makes your work unique, Larry.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
it's just a way to stand out from the crowd. Is trying to be original. Try and carve your own niche, as they say.
Sure.
As cliched as that is, but try and. I mean, there's only so many times you can talk about Mega Man and Super Mario Brothers as well in videos and stuff. So trying to stand out by doing original stuff and trying to look for stuff that nobody's done before is quite a good way to make you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, I have a few more questions right before we conclude it.
Okay.
All right, so what new projects do you have upcoming for this year?
At the moment, I'm starting to write new episodes of Fact Hunt. So I've written. Well, I've got at least 15 scripts in the work, but I'm trying to finish about 3 at the moment. So that's going to be one thing. I'm doing an animation project for Disney XD at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
So I'm working on a proof in concept pilot thing that Maker are doing a sort of deal with them. They're trying to sort of branch out, see if anyone has got any sort of interesting things to cover that Disney might be able to expand upon. So I am actually doing a animation for them, which is quite weird because I'm actually the only person who actually is doing animation I can fathom at the moment.
That's actually really cool.
Everybody else seems to be doing live action stuff, which is quite weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
So I'll be doing that. I'm waiting. It's almost finished now. I'm just. I need to send it off this week, and hopefully, when it's approved, I'll be able to put it up my YouTube channel. So
wow.
Yes, it's a comedy as well. So hopefully, you'll like it. If anybody who's been on the internet for a while will find it quite funny because a lot of it is based on internet humour to an extent.
Oh wow!
about people on the internet as well. So.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, so hopefully that should be coming very soon. So that's why I've been quite quiet lately as well, because I've been working on it full time.
Ah, I see.
So yes, that's why I've been quiet. So
can you give us some hints on it? Like maybe who's going to be in it, or maybe some, some recognizable names that maybe who is involved with it, or even a title?
I've got a couple of guest voices in it. I don't want to say everybody, but Harry Partridge is in it, Ashens is in it. A couple of well-known Let's Players are doing voices. Including a rather infamous Let's Player. He's going to be doing one of the voices. And some of the people from Retsupray are going to be voicing in it as well. So there's quite a few famous video game people doing the voices in it.
Well, that's nice. Are you thinking about doing this as like a series or just like a one-shot deal?
Well, it's originally a sketch I wrote a couple of years ago. But I've managed to sort of expand it a bit and sort of dumb it down for Disney as well, because it's a bit more harsh, the original sketch. So that's it. Basically, I'll tell you what it is anyway. It's about somebody. It's about a Let's Play who wants to do Let's Play still, but he's in a post-apocalyptic world.
Oh!
Well, yeah. So, yeah, he's trying to be a Let's Player where there's no electricity or internet anymore.
That sounds very interesting. Definitely a lot interesting than Game Shakers, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll understand it a lot better when I put a thing up. But that's just sort of the very gist of it. I mean, it's a lot expanded than just that. But that's what the premise originally is. But it's a lot wider than that. So hopefully people will like it. Like I said, there's a lot of internet humour in that. Lots of parodies of the internet types you get to see on YouTube and that.
Wow, sounds really fun.
So yes, so that's the idea of it. So it's called The Last Let's Player.
The Last Let's Player.
Name.
Okay.
Yes. So hopefully they like that name. It might change or anything. You know what it says. Things evolve, but that's what it's called at the moment. But yeah, that's my idea for an animation thing. And it's also set in a sort of a cross between Mad Max and Fallout, sort of a post-apocalyptic world.
Well, that sounds cool.
So yes, so that's the premise of it anyhow. So, but you'll be able to see it very soon, and hopefully you'll like it.
All right. Now, what's the next video game that you're going to be discussing about in your upcoming projects?
The next Facts Hunt episode is going to be the top 5 most offensive cheat codes.
Oh. I see.
Yes, and there's some of them are. I mean, it's not the cheat itself that's offensive. It's actually the code you need to type in that's offensive.
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, so some of them are really, really sort of offensive, sort of quite outrageous. I mean, you could never ever get away with what they say nowadays. With what they say then, but yeah. So that's the next video as well, and also the one after that is going to be about forgotten Gamergates as well. Big sort of controversies from the past that sort of people have forgotten about in the gaming world. So yeah, so that's going to be quite an interesting one as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
So those are the next 2.
Okay. Now I know for a while that you were doing like when you're doing your earlier videos, like you were just you had hinted at that you wanted to do Monty on the Run franchise discussion, as well as you were going to be discussing more about Doctor Who video games when you did the YouTube Geek Week.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's sort of best laid plans, really. So I really want to do that. I think loads of people have been asking me to do more Films Yanks Can't Wank episodes as well, and I've sort of been half written some of them as well. So they're going to be doing. I mean, I'm trying to go for what's popular at the moment, really, what gets views and stuff like that. And these Fact Hunt episodes are really, really popular. I mean, I've even got to like the front page of YouTube with a couple of them, so they're doing quite well for me. So I'm concentrating on them at the moment, but I will definitely be able to do them quite soon. I should be getting some help soon as well.
That's good.
I'm going to get some people helping me out with the videos, so I'll be able to get them all out more regularly then.
All right. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. And
yes.
Also, I just want to say once again, Larry, thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, that's very much. Yes, you're very welcome. Yeah, sorry for taking so long to get on it here as well.
No, not at all. It's been well worth it, I have to say. And do you have any other final things to plug or self-promote? Where can people find you at?
Well, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Larry. That's it. Yeah, I got one of them vanity email addresses. So you can check me up at youtube.com/Larry.
Okay. Do you have Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, I have. I'm just Larry Bundy Jr. on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So I'm easy to find out. Just Google me.
All right.
So I've got such a weird name that I'm quite easy to track down. You can stalk me all you want. So.
All right. Well, I'll definitely put that on my list for things to do in 2016. Stalk Guru Larry.
I'm a very boring person. Also, so I'm not very. You'll soon get put off from hiding in my bushes after 10 minutes.
Right.
So.
Well, nonetheless, you've been an awesome guest, and this is a great way to start 2016. So.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And that concludes this episode of Casual Chats, and we will hope to see you in the next one. So take care.